1976, a year for Americans to remember the greatness of their past and to mold an even greater future. In June of that year, almost 40,000 dancers came to the 25th National Square Dance Convention in Anaheim, California. They came by plane, train, bus, and by the modern-day Conestoga wagon, the recreational vehicle. They came to make the 25th convention the biggest one ever. Where did they come from?
We're from Hayward, California, and this is our 7th National, and we're enjoying it very much.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oklahoma City. It'll be great in 78.
I'm from Lancaster, California.
Nakora, Nebraska.
Wheaton, Illinois.
Seattle, Washington.
Metairie, Louisiana.
Saginaw, Michigan.
Hollywood. St. Louis, Missouri.
Vancouver, Washington.
I'm coming from Hamburg, in west of Germany.
We're Harry and Vernon Caledine from Burbank, California. We've danced in all 50 states, all the provinces of Canada, and 45 foreign countries. And they tell us that we're the only couple who have ever danced all around the world.
I think it's just a fantastic thing. It's so beautiful. Anybody that's not here doesn't know what they're missing.
Yes, in 1976, the National returned to Southern California, where it all began 25 years ago. Kicking off the activities was a Trail's End dance at the very hall in Riverside where the first convention had taken place in 1952. Carl and Vereen Anderson, general chairman for that first convention, were present to enjoy the festivities, and no doubt to reflect on the tremendous growth in the popularity of square dancing over the last quarter century. One of the callers who returned to Riverside was Morris Savada. His showmanship delighted the dancers as much now as it had at the first National. The square dance movement has grown tremendously in recent years. Carl Anderson believes that the time is right for yet more growth.
Well, there's some of us in leadership roles that feel that the square dance activity is on the verge of a real resurgence again. So we feel that it's, the growth is there. The very fact that square dancing is part of the heritage of America, of the United States, born with the very birth of the country and developing through the many years of the development of the country itself, lends itself to the Bicentennial.
As one of the first events to be officially recognized by the American Revolution Bicentennial Administration, the convention featured a pageant depicting American square dancing through the years, a colorful journey in time which began with our nation's birth when Americans were dancing the minuet.
Your partner. Honor your corner. Head slowly forward and back. Honor. Partner. Honor. Honor your opposite with a deep bow. Return and four ladies change. Change it, ladies. Chain them right back. Side slowly, forward and back.
As the settlers moved west, they took their dances with them to the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. The Mormons on the trail to Utah. The plantations of the Old South.
Partner to play. Side, forward and back.
The play parties of the Oklahoma Territory and the grange dances of the farmers' era. Modern square dancing preserves styles like the Abilene lift of Texas, the smooth style of the American Southwest, and the court dances of old California. Henry Ford worked to preserve America's dance heritage in the ballrooms of his era. In dances like the clog dance of the Blue Ridge Mountains, we have a glimpse of a way of life that has endured down through the years.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Colorado Springs, the Cheyenne Mountain Dancers.
Go 2-I-2, just take a little walk around with you.
Founded by the late Lloyd Shaw, the Cheyenne Mountain Dancers kept alive the cowboy dances of the West and stimulated interest in square dancing everywhere they appeared.
Circle to the left in the middle of the time, just circle to the left, go all the way around. Circle to the left with the holler and a hoop, bring it all out with an off-go loop. Now gents with the left and the ladies with the right, gonna break and face, gonna take all night. You keep on going just like that. Gas raise up and you just duck under.
Their dance exhibitions, highlighted by many spectacular aerial figures, thrilled audiences throughout the United States and overseas as well.
Now the second couple do a don't stop, do make an option, swing down there, you know. Balance there, and the head sleep back, swing two in the middle of the night, turn around, it's no crazy time in western weather, they just pick them up and spin them all around, just turn them around in the middle of the heart. Now settle back down in the middle of the set, just settle back down, but you're not too yet. And you find that girl and you give her a swing, just swing around, with a little thing, just swing the lady round and around it. Promenade, so don't slow down, just promenade, keep moving around. The men go back to the girl behind, promenade, so they're doing so fine. Element, go back like a left element, it's element, a left and a right, a left grand, it's a right to your honey, go around the land. Beat your honey and it don't be slow, bring it all out with a double elbow. Turn that girl around, no swing them up and you swing them on down, just any old way, put up like that. Watch around it if you please, and then drop down to the level of the knees and chase those birds to the top of the tree. Spin them all around as good as you can, just spin them all around in the middle of the land. Now pick them up and set them down.
The Cheyenne Mountain Dancers were just one of the many legacies of Dr. Lloyd Shaw, the father of modern square dancing. It was altogether fitting that this tribute to the history of square dancing was dedicated to Dr. Shaw's widow, Dorothy Stott Shaw. Afterwards, Mrs. Shaw talked about the work of her husband and how it all started.
And of course it started with the beginning of man and has gone and come and gone again. But the thing that we are doing now started in a little school system in Colorado Springs, suburban Colorado Springs, and my husband started it from recognition of a great need for children to dance. But he did it from the top down. He took the senior high school students first, and he moved down to the little ones, which gave a great deal of leeway and prestige to everybody. And presently, he had the whole community dancing. And presently, he had the whole state dancing. And presently, he had the whole country dancing. And it would take much too long to tell you how long that took and how it happened. But he was one of those great pivotal points that comes up in history every now and then, who picks up a great folk art and restores it to the people.
Now courtesy turn.
Following Dr. Shaw's example, planners of the convention provided a multitude of educational activities. In a series of seminars taught by Bob Ruff, beginners received college credit while learning basic calls, square dance history, and square dance etiquette.
Pause for a second. This is called box the net. 3 words, box the net. So with your partner, box the net. A 1, 2, 3, 4. You have exchanged positions or just facing opposite way. The man always stays to the left, and the girl always ducks under the same way. Box the net again.
In another seminar, more advanced students were taught the techniques of calling by Jack Murphy.
Left man, grand old right and left you go. Hand over hand you meet your girlie, then promenade, go round the ring.
Okay, and he's getting both above and below it also, although he usually uses almost a chant there, staying right on that one note a good part of the time. Okay?
Head couple stars.
We are very, very proud to be here tonight representing the Lloyd Shaw Foundation.
Kathy and Don Trummel discussed methods used in teaching square dancing to the mentally retarded.
Curriculum for elementary and secondary education, and we are very pleased to be a part of their program.
Move a little more over to that way. Move, and you have to move him. Let him know where he's supposed to be so that he knows.
All in all, the convention offered over 200 hours of panels and seminars on subjects such as petticoat power, of interest to the ladies.
This is the thing that I like to see when we're all through with the National Convention, is that we're all still friends. Because if you're not still friends, it wasn't worth it.
And it's kind of hard to talk in front of Olin because I feel like I'm going to give away all my secrets that he's never ever known before,
Another offered some pretty crazy ideas for the after party.
It really is. We have a lion trainer with it. She's not too sure about training Gnorts, but she's working at it.
Swing that girl. Put her on the right, go down and forward.
Of particular interest to experienced dancers were workshops in contra and round dancing. Contra dancing has long been the basic New England country dance, but is rapidly spreading in popularity.
Pass through, do, corner, do, swing. Go down and forward. Wheel turn. Come on back.
Since Lloyd Shaw revived it in 1948, round dancing has become immensely popular. With steps familiar to ballroom dancers, round dancing makes an evening of dance sparkle with an agreeable change of pace.
Part B, forward 2. Rock, recover through, both 2 times. Tango draw. Forward 2 for the left pivot turn. 2 of them. Tango draw. Forward 2 slow ones now for the breakaway.
To serve the needs of the caller, the convention featured a panel chaired by callers Lee Heltzel, Johnny LeClaire, and Bill Peters.
Point exactly as you had is a disadvantage.
To the other people on the other side of the wall, that is symmetric choreography. If you call a command, lady number 1, chain to the right, what happens is that this girl chains with that girl, but this girl does not. So what happens here did not happen there. That's unsymmetric choreography, and we don't deal with that.
In a special caller's clinic, Dick Jones tackled the problems of styling.
Just picture what the story of the song is. Here's a guy who went down to Dallas, Texas. He's supposed to meet a girl down there. He got down in Dallas, and he's looking all over the place for that girl, and he can't find her. Now, how would he feel? Would he be, here I am, Dallas, you know, woman, where are you? Yoo-hoo. You know, would he be that way, or would he be inclined to be a little angry?
Much of the gaiety and color of square dancing comes from the traditional square dance attire. At the 25th convention, exhibitors offered the latest fashions and accessories.
Okay, I'm going to demonstrate how to put piping on a man's shirt without this stitching showing.
At the Sew and Create clinic, experts offered advice on every step of costume making.
And sew onto the seam line. Sew your piping onto your yoke. Like so.
Clever designs were on display in the pattern room, where conventioneers could trace them to take home.
I'll try that.
I'm going to make this one.
Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen.
The work of the artists with needle and thread was highlighted by the spectacular fashion show, featuring the music of Lee Schmidt and Don Lee Ellis. This beautiful event offered special guests, colorful floats, and of course, a delightful parade of some of our nation's finest handiwork in square dance attire.
Built with you in mind. Knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to our world. Knock and the door will open. Seek.
There was even a prediction as to what Milady might be wearing to square dances of the future. Wow.
Be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled.
The fashion show closed with the 25th anniversary float featuring Carl and Vereen Anderson. This beloved couple was justly saluted for their many years of work in behalf of square dancing. But square dancing is not only a spectator sport. What about those who came to dance? Well, everyone had all the opportunities to dance he could want. With as many as 10 dance floors going at once, it's safe to say you could always find a happy group of dancers. At times, the dancing even spilled out onto the roof of the parking structure next door. There was every kind of square dancing for young and old and everyone in between. The youth hall was always the scene of lively heel kicking. Always a highlight whenever square dancers get together are dances by the exhibition groups who love to show off their fanciest steps.
heads wheel around grand trade dive.
A special treat of the convention was an exhibition by the Maycroft Square Tappers of Michigan. These nimble-toed youngsters were chosen to represent American dancing in a forthcoming tour of the Soviet Union. The traditional parade of states acknowledged the contributions of all 50 states.
The parade of states tonight is led off by the California State Square Dance Council Incorporated, Dell and Desi Weatherford, presidents. Incidentally, at 5 p.m. tonight, there was 20,442 registered from the state of California.
For a moment, the music reminded everyone to look forward to next year's convention in Atlantic City. For Atlantic City, next year's convention will be the result of thousands of hours of hard work which began 3 years ago. In turn, one of the most important duties this year was to select the site of the 1980 National Convention. This procedure allows each convention city a much-needed 4 years of preparation time. As always, the Executive Committee extended an invitation for cities to submit bids, often supported by partisans in the audience. The Executive Committee, which continued its work through the convention, was faced with a tough decision. Finally, on closing night, the announcement was made.
The losers and the winners of this award are taking the night train to Memphis.
Throughout the convention, many special guests had come to pay tribute to this great American tradition. California's Lieutenant Governor Mervyn Dimely.
Square dancing is one of the great American traditions. From colonial times, people have come together to socialize and dance as they spend their leisure time and pull together the family unit. In our bicentennial year, I come to think of no other activity that is so well founded in our history and our culture. Thank you for coming to California. Please come back. I promise when you come back to call the California 12. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Recording star Charlie Pride sang at the presentation of the colors by the Marine Corps Mounted Color Guard.
What so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Among the 16 foreign countries represented, a contingent from Japan came with a special gift for General Chairman Ken and Audrey Parker.
Gentlemen, I take care, lady. I'd like to give to you the happy court.
There need not be any speeches. Certainly square dancing forms hands around the world. We are indeed grateful for these expressions of kindness from faraway Japan. We thank you so much.
In this bicentennial year, a special congratulatory letter to the convention came from President Ford. The last hours of the convention were a time for old friends to say goodbye and for new friends to look forward to future meetings. For many, it was a time to rest. But for dyed-in-the-wool square dancers, it was time for the after party. What an after party it was, an all-night extravaganza at Disneyland. In addition to the varied attractions of the Magic Kingdom, many even found time for more square dancing. After all, the love of square dancing is what brought them all together in the first place. And a true enthusiast just can't stop dancing. That's what made the 25th convention and all the past conventions so successful. And that's what will ensure the success of future conventions. The joy people find in square dancing.
Swing the partner, out 2 and 4, square through. 4 hands around I go, and I get to the corner, lady, those side over like an ocean wave. Hey, now swing through 2 with 2 boys, run around the girl, tag the line, turn a quarter to the left. Do a Ferris wheel, moving around, I go in the middle, pass through those side over like an ocean wave. Now swing through 2 with 2, now spin the top. And I run on it through, turn the girl, star through. Now dive through in the middle, square through. 3/4 round, I go out on that fountain man. Round around, and I go round, I go. Hand over, hand around, I go. Gonna get that lady, if I'm a lady, round I go. When you get back home, everybody go up to the middle with enthusiasm. Yeah. Circle left, I go round, I go. Circle left, I get a moving around.